Hi, everyone. My name is Steven Soderstrom. I'm the principal at Thermopolis Middle School here in Hot Springs County School District number 1. Over the summer and over the spring, after we closed down for distance learning, as an admin team, we sat down and looked at things we needed to improve upon coming in this next school year with all the unknowns. And a lot of the feedback that we got back was based on communication and the resources that we were using for distance learning and learning, in our school district from day to day. So Breeze Daniels and myself sat down and we made a plan to kind of streamline communication and learning resources for our kids 5 through 12. So what this video is, it's a tips and tricks, a tool for parents and kids to be able to use before we start, to look at and to use as we start school tomorrow. So I'm going to go through Google Classroom, which is what we're going to use 5 through 12 to get assignments and resources out to kids, both in school and in the event of distance learning, if we were to get to that. And I'm going to show you through Planbook, which is a resource for communication, both to parents and students, based on what they're doing in class. It won't actually have resources a lot of the time that you can click on. Parents will be able to look at that and see what their kids are doing in every day, in every class, and it's super easy to access. So what I'm going to do is take you through that process, show you how to shut off emails on Google Classroom, show you how to access assignments and really organize student work and to know and stay in the loop without having to send emails, get phone calls. People with jobs and they're busy, they can just take a look and know what their students are supposed to be doing. So I'm going to share my screen here. So what this is right here is I set up myself as a student in a few classes. So let me go to Google Classroom right here. For parents that don't know where Google Classroom is, you'll click on the little waffle up here, find Google Classroom, and all of your students' classes will show up right here. So there's a few different things that I am set up in as a teacher. So Mr. O's classes, that's my teaching account. This is also a teaching account, but these two classes right here are the ones that I'm assigned as, or I've signed up as a student. Mrs. Cornwell, she has her arts and crafts class right here. And then we made social studies. Obviously they're both fake classes, fake accounts. So one of the first pieces of feedback we got is students were getting multiple emails per day from different classes. So one thing that you guys can do to turn those notifications off or turn them on. Me personally, when I used Google Classroom as a student when I was in college, I liked having those notifications, but you can customize them to yourself. So you're going to go over to the side, push settings, and then right here where it says notifications, says email and receive email notifications, you could turn those on. Well, a lot of our students last year in the spring had it set up that they would get an email every time there was a comment, every time you commented, every time you had a private comment, anytime your teacher posted anything, they would get emails no matter what. So you guys can go through and customize this for what you want. Me, I have it turned off so I don't get email notifications, and I just go in and check my actual district collaboration classes. So that's the first thing. That is how you turn off email notifications. We're going to go back to classes here. So this is how you see all your classes. The second piece of feedback that we got is both parents and kids didn't know what they were supposed to do every day. Google Classroom is a super easy resource that has it set up where you can see the calendar. It's both right here and you can go up here and see the calendar. So for our students, whenever they have an assignment that's due, it'll show up on their calendar. So if I go to calendar here, this is this week. And for my fake classes that Brenda Cornwell is teaching, these are the classes that are set up. So I know that as a student on Tuesday, August 18th, our scrapbooking assignment number 1 is set up. And for parents to know and students, if you go here, all you have to know is go to that week on the calendar, click on that day, and it's going to take you straight to the assignment. So to show you another piece of this, we're going to go back to calendar, is these are all undone. Another place you can find these is in your to-dos. So as a student, I know that this week, these are the assignments that I have to do this week. Right here, it will show missing assignments. This is an assignment that was late. It was due yesterday at Monday at 11:59 p.m. and done. As a student, I haven't turned in anything this week besides, well, there was this fake one that I turned in earlier. So this is done, this is missing, and this is assigned. This is what I have still left to do. If I go back to my calendar and I click on an assignment, let's say it's the scrapbooking assignment number 1. I'm going to click on it. Let's say that I turn something in, so I'm going to add a doc. There's my assignment right there, and then I'm going to turn it in, turn turn in, and that will give the teacher a notification that it's turned in. If I go back to my to-do stuff right here, it's not assigned, it's going to be in my turned in section right here. So for parents and students, this is going to show what your students have done, what they still have left to do for that specific week. In addition to that, the third piece of a lot of feedback that we got is parents and students didn't know when or where to find their Google Meet. So for Mrs. Cornwell, we said right here, Google Meet today at 10 a.m. to discuss yesterday's class. Well, it's 9:58 right now. To go to that Google Meet, all I do is click on that link up there at the top, and it's going to take me to this Google Meet. Everybody else would show up. I would push join now, and we would actually be able to have that version of a Zoom meeting. For the middle school, we're committed to just using Google Meet for our classes. Super easy. All they do is go to their class, so they go to their classes right here. They know they have one at 10 o'clock for their arts and crafts class. You click on the Google Meet link, and that's how you're going to get into that Google Meet. So those are just some tips and tricks for you guys. It's a lot cleaner to use these resources such as the calendar and the to-do to find instead of using the stream right here. And then you can always, if you have to, you get to the point that they can contact their teachers for more information. So that's the first piece of feedback that we got. The second piece was that there was a lot of parents and students that were overwhelmed by emails, text messages, phone calls. So we tried to streamline that communication by using Planbook. Let's say that you're a parent and that you have a 5th grader, a 8th grader, and let's say a 10th grader. And you know that you have Mrs. Bears in 5th grade for social studies and science. You have Mrs. Hill for PE and health in 7th or 8th grade, and then you have Mr. Wiley up in 10th or 11th grade. What you're going to do to find information on their classes, what they're going to be doing every day, is you're going to go to your school, either the middle school or the high school, and you're going to find their grade level. So we're going to go to Mrs. Bear's class first. The middle school, click on 5th grade. What we did is create a website that shows lesson plans for every single teacher. So if you have a 5th grader, all of your resources will be right here where it says View Class Planbook. We're going to Mrs. Bears right now. We're going to click on this, View Class Planbook, and it's going to show what your kid is doing in that specific day about 2 weeks in advance. Teachers are going to have this all the way updated 2 weeks in advance after Labor Day. So be a little patient for them as we get started for the beginning of the year. You can see Mrs. Bears has both her science and her social studies classes built out. So a parent can get on here and see exactly what that kid is supposed to be doing or their child is supposed to be doing in those classes every day. Some of them are going to have standards here at the bottom, but most of them are just going to say what they're going through. So to go back, let's say that you found what you needed to find for Mrs. Bear's classroom. We're going to go back to schools, Thermopolis Middle School. You know that Mrs. Hill is a 7th and 8th grade teacher. You're going to click on that link. You're going to go to Mrs. Hill's plan book right here, and it's going to show what your child would be doing in 7th and 8th grade PE. So for every day, it's going to show what they're going to be doing. And teachers are going to have a little bit different style depending on class, but you're going to know this is what they're expected to do, whether we're in school or out of school. We're going to do one more. We're going to say that, so we went 5th grade, we went 7th and 8th grade. Now we're going to go up to the high school. We're going to go schools. We're going to go Hot Springs County High School. You know that your child has a language arts class with Mr. Wiley. Click on language arts, View Class Planbook, and Mr. Wiley's resources are going to be right here. So here's what he's doing in English 1, English 3, Honors English, or Journalism based on your child's class. All you have to do is know that they're in whatever class, and you can find that information. Go to the second week of school. Well, here's what he's doing. Here's what Mr. Wiley's having those students do in those specific classes. If you have questions, you can ask your child. You can reach out and ask the teachers if you need to be, but that information is going to be there for all 5 through 12 teachers. I hope that this was a little bit explanatory. It's going to be helpful, I believe, going in the future. And remember, this is for 5 through 12. K through 4 is doing something a little bit different. They're using Schoology, and their teachers are getting that up and running right now. If you have questions about these specific resources, please email me, call me, or Mrs. Daniels at the high school. we're using the same means of communication to make it easier for families that have a student that's 5 through 12. Like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm really looking forward to getting a good start into this 2020-21 school year. It's going to look a little bit different, but we can't wait to get the kids back and be learning. Everybody have a good one.